it rained, you covered up in your blanket. When it got hot, you laid on top of your blanket. When it got chilly, you got in your blanket. A gourd canteen. Gourds were very prevalent here in this area. It's a great vessel for holding water or keeping water out, so they were used a lot for storage. Some people use them to store their black powders. I'm using this one as a canteen. My weapon is what we call, in modern terms, a 62 caliber Fowler. It's a smoothbore. It's a shotgun in your definitions. It'll shoot a round patch ball, but it also will shoot small shot. To defend myself when that's not working or somebody's gotten too close, I have my belt axe, and then my last line of defense is my belt knife. The knife was very utilitarian for many, many different aspects, from eating, cooking, skinning, dressing animals, to defending yourself. Some guys probably could shave with it, but as you see, I'm advanced enough to have my own razor. I've got my little smoking set with my twist tobacco, my eating utensils, a little container of horn. Horn was the other beautiful container. Horn is your Tupperware of the 18th century. You would store rum in it. You'd store your black powder in it, powder horns. You'd store salt and pepper. So I've got some salt and pepper. Dried bacon, parched corn, dried split peas, oatmeal, some Spanish chocolate, which is kind of like chocolate with a little bit of cinnamon and some sugar in it that I've used either to flavor something or to make a hot type chocolate drink at nighttime. Some roasted pumpkin seed, my shaving utensils, as I like to stay rather well groomed, playing cards and bone dice to entertain ourselves at nighttime, a little candle stub, a fire starting kit, flint and steel, but it also has a magnifying glass so I can use the power of the sun during the daytime to start my fire or to light my pipe or however I need to go. A chain that I use to hang over a stick to hold my cooking pot. My sewing kit is called a husuf or a housewife. That's what I had to repair all my gear with. A fishing kit, my gun maintenance equipment, a journal book with a lead pencil beside it. We talked about the horn. There's my cartridge box that holds my paper cartridges from my Fowler. My haversack, the black and brass looking utensils are my reloading equipment. There's a bar of lead. I take my hawk or my knife and carve off a piece of lead, put it in the ladle, hold it over the fire, it melts, and then you pour it into the brass item that looks like a pair of scissors, and it creates a round ball that would be used in my weapon. On the very far side is a spare pair of shoe soles because I don't have a horse. I have to walk wherever I go, so my shoes wear out rather frequently. So I've got a spare set that I can cobble together if need be. A change of socks, a change of shirt, and 2 hats, one to sleep in because that helps you keep you warm at night. Now, would y'all like to have all that to live in for a couple of days or a couple of weeks? Especially the food's a little questionable. We supplemented a lot. We'd see a renegade chicken that was going to attack us or something, and we would kill that chicken to keep it from hurting us. And might as well
You'd be surprised at how many loyalist chickens there are out
there. We've taken out a great deal. Y'all got any questions or anything?
How good that bacon taste? I'm learning.
I've eaten some of it. It's there. It's very hard and very dry. This bacon is, I think, about 6 years old right now. Doesn't have too bad of a smell to it. It's an acquired taste.
Do you guys have any questions?
A ship's biscuit. Y'all have heard of hardtack, and there's a war about 100 years from now. Y'all call it, I think, the Civil War or something like that. And they had hardtack, but this was a ship's biscuit. And if you can kind of see, there's a little kind of an arrow shape in it. That means it was bought and procured by the British Army. They have a broad arrow on my blanket. Above the GR is a broad arrow, and the back side of my haversack is the British always marked all their supplies with that broad arrow. So that's, even the ship biscuit had it.
All right, kids. Here's your question. What's the GR stand for?
Even the adults might read that. Any ideas? Any guesses?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Something regular.
George Rules.
Yeah. Or George Rexius.
I've always heard George Rules.
It's the Latin is Georgius Rexius.
Yeah. George was the president, or the president.
The king.
King.
Well, why is that called hardtack?
Well, I think that's more of a term from the 1800s, because back then this was a ship's biscuit, or hard bread.
The reason I asked, that's the
Thank
second
you.
time I watched just now. I was